can we touch on a bit about how you got into real estate, what your life's been like, and a journey so far, just so we can give the audience a bit of an idea of who you are?
Yeah.
And then we can delve into some fun questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so I started in real estate as a receptionist nearly 10 years ago. I don't have any family ties to real estate. It was something I sort of just thought I'd have a shot at. And then I was fortunate enough to meet a recruiter via LinkedIn who put me in touch with PPD, got a job as a leasing agent. I didn't know the eastern suburbs. I wasn't from here. I sort of just thought, if I'm going to try real estate, I want to go to the best market. And I always was really tied to the beaches. I love the beaches.
But you're not from around here, right?
No, I grew up out west, and then decided if I'm going to, I didn't want to sell real estate in the area where we grew up. I didn't like the way it was at the time. The markets were a bit different. I didn't like the way they sort of operated. And I thought he was a little bit more transactional and probably more of an opportunity to grow. And then, so I came over, got a job as a leasing agent, moved into property management. PPD was a lot small. Well, our property management business was a lot smaller at the time. It was a much younger business. So there was only 2 of us in the property management team, whereas now there's upwards of 15, I think. So did that, and then met Alex very early on when I started. And, you know, the goal was always to get into sales, and I just kept hounding. And eventually I was really fortunate in 2019. There was an opportunity to come up in the team, and Alex slid me in there, and I've been there since. So that's how I got into it, and how I ended up in Alex's team.
Mate, what a story. And when it comes down to working within this industry and working within a high-performing team like Alex's, there's going to be a lot of things that break normal associates, in my opinion, in terms of workload, in terms of volume. Now, what was your experience like as you started to have volume come onto your plate that you weren't used to? Was it a shock to you? How did you handle those?
I was really fortunate that when I had quite a large property management portfolio where I had 300 properties under management, which is a lot for, and I had one person working with me. So dealing with volume was something I was used to, obviously on a completely different scale. But one thing we did when I started in sales, which I think everyone should do, is for 6 months, I did not sell anything. I did admin. I did house prep, I did agency agreements, I did compliance, I did all the stuff that no one wants to do or that sales agents don't think they should have to do. I did.
Is that what you wanted to do? Or is that what was pushed to you?
Look, I didn't want to do it. I didn't ask to do it.
Yeah.
But it was the best thing I did.
What was the thinking around why they made you do it? Because it would have been a good reason for it.
The thinking is that I should be able to control the process from A to Z. So from the appraisal of walking in and saying, you need carpet, paint, styling, gardening, then to project managing that on behalf of the vendor, doing the paperwork to sign up the vendor, preparing the property to go on the market, organising the right timeline to go, okay, painter here, gardener here, carpet here, stylist then, photos copy, floor plan on this day. This is how we're going to meet the deadline that we're working towards. And this is, so now that to me, when I go sit in front of someone, I'm so comfortable with. I don't have to say, oh no, Kevin, do you mind if we come back tomorrow with Prue from our office who, prepares all of our houses for sale? I can walk through a house and go, no, that needs to be changed. I think we should do carpet here. I think if you invested a few grand in washing the house, it'll actually look heaps better. And I think that instills a lot of confidence in someone you're sitting across the table from.
Oh, for sure. I think that's really interesting because I see a lot of young agents, and especially with high-performing agents too, there will always be an admin associate or an admin assistant within the team that covers a lot of stuff. What you obviously had Prue in your corner when you started, is that right?
Yeah.
So she was still there when you began. Now, why did they make you go through doing all of that stuff while Prue was there? Was she helping you with it, or was it just
absolutely.
strictly
For the first 6 months, I pretty much sat in the car with Prue every day. Like I didn't really have much to do with Alex. He was listing, selling. There was the other guys in the team. Obviously, we had a lot to do with each other, but I was reporting to Prue. I was dealing with Prue, preparing the houses, and I started during the Easter break. So we had that large selling window. It was like a 6 or 7 week window after Easter, sort of May to early to mid June before the winter holidays, which for us is generally a high stock level time of the year. So there was a lot to prepare in that time. And Alex actually wasn't even in the country. He was away. So that was my first taste of it and where I spent a lot of time. And then that just really, essentially the way we've been taught is that at any point, anyone should be able to call you and you should be able to do it. You shouldn't have to go, I don't know how to type an agency agreement. I don't know what's required for this to be compliant. How do I actually get this property on the market? Like PPD is really big on their compliance. We have a whole team dedicated to it. We can tick every box and not go, oh no, Prue's sick today. We can't put this property on the market because we don't know how to do it. It's just one of us steps in and goes, yep, fine, that's no problem, you can do it. If someone wants to take a holiday, go fine, next one steps up and does it.
That's awesome.
And that's how we've run the business. That's how the team's built.
Yeah. Wow.
There's no titles and there's no hierarchy. It's just everyone does everything, and that's sort of how we've done it. And I think it works really well.
Works really well. We ended up at number one, so must work. Now, it's obviously very different to another way that you guys operate, which is a very different. When we had Alex on, he was talking about the fact that you and the rest of the guys within the team will not actually call Alex's database. You'll call your own buyers and then create your own database from there, which you nurture.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so important to start building your own, relationships and network and not actually be touching Alex's stuff? Because usually the associate's calling all of the agent's database.
Yeah. So I think there's a few parts to it, right? One is there is very few more high profile names in our industry than Alex Phillips. So then you come in and you're trying to create your own profile. How do you do that? Really strong relationships. How do you create really strong relationships? Not by calling someone every week going, I've got a buyer, can I show them through? Do you want to sell? Do you want to sell? You create a relationship by offering that person something. How do we do that? We do that via buyer work, or we do that via market updates and just providing a service and an advisory service to the market. And instead of asking, just giving. And eventually the time comes where you've built the trust, you've built the brand, the personal acknowledgement and the relationship to go, hey, can I have this? Whether it be their house, do they have any friends looking at selling, whatever it may be. But you build that relationship enough that when you ring, they go, hey, Vince, how are you? Not, hello, John speaking. Do you know what I mean? And so that's part of building your own brand and building your own profile whilst leveraging, working and using the best profile you can in the business. And that's something we're really big on.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great for the associates for sure. The one thing where I look at it is I look at the agents and I go, their database is now not going to get touched. So it ends up being on the fact that these agents now have to step up as well. Now, question for you in terms of longevity. You've been an associate for 5 years now to Alexander Phillips. He also has, is it 80 years combined total within the team of experience? Under. That's remarkable. There's retention there. No one's really leaving. No. You see it with, for example, Matt Steinwade's team with Jordan Bullman, Trevor Hamilton. It's very rare where you have that longevity and people go, like, I'm good here. What's the attraction for you? You're obviously extremely good. You can list and sell at a high clip, probably better than most agents. Is there a reason why you want to continue to be within Alex's team and not step out? Because I see a lot of agents that go, I want to be out in a year or two.
Yeah, we see it. I mean, you see it everywhere you go, right?
Yeah.
I think, like, probably firstly, it's a really, really, really good place to work. The environment that we've created in that team is like, it's really nice. It's really good. And that makes it a pleasure, to get up every day and go do the work for the duration and at the intensity. And you can put up with all that because of how much you enjoy where you go to work. But then I think another part of it is I've been really fortunate that Alex is happy to actually let go. He doesn't see us as competition for him. It truly, like, people talk about having a team, but they compete within the team. And the agent is concerned that their associate has called someone they dealt with 10 years ago at an open house and got in the door, and then they have an argument over whose lead it is.
Happens all the time.
Right? For us, it's like, no, congrats, good on you. I didn't chase that lead, or, I got it. You built a better relationship with them than what I had. go, that's yours. So there's no need for us to compete. We're working we're like in a competitive market with the agents that we come up against to try and come up against these guys without the name or the runs on the board that a lot of them have is really hard. So I guess it's sort of swallowing your pride a little bit and taking a longer game approach. At the end of the day, I'm in my late 20s now. I'm going to be in the industry for another 50 or so years, right? 40 or so years. So whether you become an agent in 2 years or 6 or 7 or 8 years, really, when you look back on it when you finish, is it going to make that much of a difference? I don't think so.
No.
What I think will make a difference is if you go too early, you burn yourself out, you can't make it work, you're not making any money, you're not doing any deals, you're not enjoying it because you're just losing. That's when I think you probably notice it more than whether you stayed an extra year or two and then, reap the benefits of it later.
100%.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another Both Sides podcast. Just want to say a big thank you for the support up until now. If you've got value from the episode, could you please go like and follow us on the social platforms, for example, Spotify and YouTube, as that will help us continue to get better quality guests. Bye for now.